Sherlock Bones wasn't your ordinary beagle. He had a nose for trouble and a mind for mysteries. He lived in a cozy little house in Maplewood, where the biggest excitement was usually Mrs. Peabody's cat chasing butterflies. The town was peaceful, almost too peaceful for a detective like Sherlock. But Sherlock had a secret that only a few knew. He was Maplewood's very own detective. With his trusty hat and magnifying glass, he was always ready for action. With his super sniffer and a keen eye for clues, Sherlock could solve any mystery, no matter how small. From missing toys to strange noises in the night, nothing escaped his attention.
One sunny afternoon, the peace of Maplewood was shattered. The usually calm and serene town was buzzing with whispers and worried glances. The delicious aroma of freshly baked blueberry muffins, usually wafting from Mrs. Hattie's bakery, was replaced by a scent of worry and confusion. The townsfolk gathered, puzzled by the sudden change. Something was amiss, and Sherlock Bones was on the case. With determination in his eyes and a wag in his tail, he set out to uncover the mystery.
My muffins! They're gone! All of them! Every single one!
Mrs. Hattie, her face as pale as flour, stood in the middle of her bakery, surrounded by empty trays. Her heart raced as she tried to comprehend the situation. Her spectacles were perched precariously on her nose, and her voice trembled as she spoke. She had never experienced anything like this before.
Don't worry, Mrs. Hattie, I'm on the case. We'll find those muffins, I promise.
Sherlock Bones, with his ears perked and tail wagging excitedly, knew this was a job for a detective with a nose as sharp as his. Sherlock sniffed the air, his senses on high alert. The scent of blueberry muffins, usually so strong and inviting, was faint now, like a whisper in the wind. It was almost as if someone had tried to cover their tracks. But it was there, a trail he could follow. Sherlock Bones began to track the scent, his nose close to the ground. He looked at Mrs. Hattie with determined eyes and barked, signaling that he was on the right track. The adventure to find the missing muffins had just begun. Sherlock's nose led him out of the bakery and onto the busy street. The bustling city was filled with a myriad of scents, but Sherlock was focused. His keen sense of smell was his greatest asset in solving mysteries. The scent of muffins was mixed with the smells of freshly cut grass and blooming flowers, but Sherlock's nose was able to pick out the muffin scent. It was a delicate dance of aromas, but Sherlock was a master at this game. He followed it, his tail wagging like a metronome, keeping time with his steps. Each step brought him closer to the source of the delicious smell, and his excitement grew with every sniff.
The trail led me to the park, where children laughed and played on the swings. The air was filled with the sounds of joy and the scent of adventure. The scent of muffins was strongest near the oak tree, where a group of squirrels were having a feast. They seemed to be enjoying their meal, but I had a mystery to solve. Being a friendly detective, I decided to ask them for help. The squirrels chattered and pointed me in the right direction, their tiny paws gesturing towards a hidden path.
And so, Sherlock Bones continued his quest, determined to solve the mystery of the missing muffins. With each clue, he grew more confident that he was on the right track. The adventure was just beginning, and Sherlock was ready for whatever came next. The squirrels, initially startled by Sherlock's appearance, quickly warmed up to the friendly beagle. Sherlock, in his own way, asked them about the missing muffins. To his surprise, the squirrels understood. They chittered and pointed with their tiny paws towards a boy wearing a red cap. Sherlock barked his thanks to the helpful squirrels and followed their lead. The boy in the red cap was sitting on a bench, seemingly engrossed in a game with muffins. Sherlock couldn't believe his eyes. The missing muffins were right there. The boy, whose name was Timmy, looked up in surprise when he saw Sherlock.
Hi, puppy!
Timmy chirped, oblivious to Sherlock's detective status. Timmy was juggling the muffins, tossing them in the air and catching them with a giggle.
I wanted to help Mrs. Hattie. She looked tired, so I thought I'd take these to the park for her to sell. Everyone loves muffins.
Sherlock, touched by Timmy's good intentions, knew the boy hadn't meant any harm. He licked Timmy's hand, a gesture that meant, "It's okay, but always ask first." With the help of the squirrels, who proved to be quite good at carrying muffins, Sherlock and Timmy returned the missing treats to Mrs. Hattie. Relief washed over her face as she saw her muffins, safe and sound.
Oh, Sherlock, you found them! And Timmy, you're a dear boy. but next time just ask before you borrow my muffins.
Timmy, cheeks flushed with embarrassment, nodded earnestly. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over Maplewood, Sherlock Bones trotted home, his tail wagging proudly. The case of the missing muffins was solved, and peace was restored. But Sherlock knew that in a town as lively as Maplewood, there was always another mystery waiting around the corner, and Sherlock Bones, the canine detective with a nose for trouble, would be ready to sniff it out.